Let's take our Bibles back to Matthew chapter number 5, and we'll continue in the Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus gives us a pretty intense teaching on sin and temptation and how we should take sin as seriously as God does. And I know that that's kind of seems out of our reach, but we can take sin very seriously. In fact, if you look at chapter number 5, verse number 27, it's not the only teaching on sin in here. It's just the one I think that we deal with the most is that area of temptation. So in verse number 27, it says, "Ye have heard it said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery." And for those who don't understand what adultery is, that's where we have a physical relationship with another person outside of our marriage. And that could be before marriage, after, during marriage. We are not to have relationships that are physical between the two people outside of the bonds of marriage. And so when we do that, people call them affairs at this time, but I think that's just a cute way of classifying something that's very, very dangerous and very, very harmful. And so he says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." And so he's talking about a heart condition that leads to a physical action. And he said we need to take that sin that seriously, that we need to take care of the root of the problem, not just the external, basically the part that causes the consequence when people find out about it. Verse number 29 says, "And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell." Did you catch that? It says it would be better for you if you went into heaven wearing an eye patch instead of going to hell because you didn't deal with your sin. Verse number 30 says, "And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell." And so he's just saying take sin very seriously because it's so devastating, and we need to make sure that we take sin as seriously as God takes sin. It's not enough for us to say, "Well, okay, I guess God doesn't like it." No, God, it doesn't like it because it hurts us, it hurts society, it hurts our children. The sin causes a downfall in all of us. It is the downfall in all of us, and we need to take it more seriously. I think that people are winking at their sin and not taking it very seriously. And God says, "Hey, listen, it is so serious that in a manner of speaking, it would be better for you if you stopped your eye from causing you to stumble into sin, if you stopped your hand from reaching for that sin, whatever that sin might be." Now, I don't think he's meaning that we should cause ourselves great physical harm, but he's saying it's that serious. It's so serious. The consequences are so devastating. Go to great lengths to keep yourself from falling into the sins that you're being tempted to sin. So if you're having difficulties with some visual things, what he really means is cut off the stimulus, whatever that is that's causing you to stumble, shut it off. For many of us, it's going to take some pretty drastic media measures to take care of that seed of adultery so that we don't commit adultery. For some, it's going to take drastic measures of avoiding circumstances so our hands don't reach for whatever it is that they tend to reach for, that God has said don't do it. And remember, when God says don't do it, he really is saying if you do that, it's going to hurt you in some way. It's going to hurt someone you love. It's going to hurt people you care about. And so God says take sin seriously. It's not a joke. It's really serious. It hurts us. And so as you approach your day today, don't think that God is like, well, I'd rather you didn't. No, he's saying don't do it. It's hurting people somewhere in some way. And most importantly, it's hurting your relationship with God. I know that if you'll take sin more seriously and take steps to block it off from your life, you will have a much better life. Have a great day.